Online shopping has reached a whole new level with the 2024 holiday season smashing records and redefining how we shop. Consumers spent a staggering $241.4 billion online, an 8.7% jump from last year, with smartphones playing a bigger role than ever before, driving over half of those purchases. Gen AI-powered shopping assistants and buy now, pay later options also gain traction, changing the way that we find deals and manage budgets. To break this all down, I am joined now by Vivek, Pandya, Senior Lead Analyst at Adobe Digital Insights. Vivek, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, you heard in the lead-in these staggering numbers. What do you think drove this record-breaking season?
I think we had a convergence of factors that really drove the consumer to be in a stronger position to spend, especially when we think about the deals that we saw across categories. We saw a lot of price sensitivity out there on the part of the consumer, and that coupled with just this shorter period between Christmas and Thanksgiving really drove a lot of spend velocity, and that helped inform what we saw coming out of the season.
And you know, smartphones actually accounted for more than half of purchases. What do you think that this shift means in the broader retail sector, and how this shift is going to change moving forward?
For retailers, it's paramount that the mobile experience be incredible, because they're trying to engage consumers, show a lot of differentiation. Consumers are spending a lot of time on smartphones, on social media apps. So ensuring that they can drive the migratory traffic that's coming to smartphones, making sure that they're driving revenue off of that is incredibly important.
And what would you say are the trends right now that consumers should be keeping up with?
I would say consumers are really looking to keep up with how they can ideate around types of goods they want to get. So you called out the generative AI figure. They're trying to think about Christmas lists this season. They use generative AI for that, trying to find cheaper versions or dupes of products. That was a real trend that we saw. And looking at social media influencers and the additional promo codes and discounts that they were able to offer, it provided a really strong recipe for the spend velocity that we saw.
But I do want to turn to the report. You actually cited a 1,300% increase in traffic from Gen AI-powered shopping assistants, and you know, that's quite significant. How do you think that that is going to shift or change the tools that consumers are currently using, and how it will impact the broader e-commerce space?
It's going to be very much based around the consumer's expectations and their familiarity with these generative AI platforms. So this was one of the first years where we could start to see link traffic coming from the major Gen AI platforms to retail sites. So that's why we saw such a strong spike. We're going to continue to see increases there, and it to become a dominant traffic source to retail sites. Yeah.
How are you seeing consumers leverage BNPL?
BNPL has seen a lot of popularity over the past 3 years, and they're using it to manage their budgets, but also they're going through integrations on social media apps. They're seeing a smaller order value there, and that's really appealing to a lot of Gen Z consumers especially. So we're seeing both the ease of BNPL through mobile device integrations, and consumers also leaning on it when they're having to buy a lot with a constrained budget.
But we're seeing them lean on it more and more frequently. In fact, it's driving more than $18 billion in online expenditure.
It's definitely significant in the sense that we've seen growth there in the range of 11 to 12% in previous years. This year it was a bit slower at just about 9%, but it's still expanding because you have a combination of users who are leveraging it both because they want to manage their finances, but also some who just find it a very easy, straightforward way to finance their purchases.
Now, I do want to talk to you about curbside pickup. You know, that is still a key focal point for many businesses to fulfill these shipments, especially when you place these online orders. Talk to me about, actually, and you know, Cyber Week brought in more than $41.1 billion with these kind of transactions. So how do you see these trends reflecting and changing over the near term?
Well, it's definitely a strong trend that we're seeing for retailers who offer grocery items. During the pandemic, click and collect or buy online, pick up in store saw a lot of popularity across categories, especially when consumers felt like their shipping options would have issues getting to them and right to their front door. But that remains quite popular. But given that consumers are buying a lot of online grocery, buy online, pick up in store is very favorable to that, and we're going to see that persist.
Okay, and we have about 30 seconds left. So what would you say right now consumers are on the lookout for, especially as we're navigating through inflationary pressures?
We have a very strategic consumer out there who's looking for really strong deals, the product assortment they're looking for, and fast shipping and good return policies. So the retailers that are able to deliver on that are the ones who are going to win in this type of environment.
Thank you so much for all of those key insights and for joining us on the show today. Again, that is Vivek Pandya. He is Senior Lead Analyst at Adobe Digital Insights.